exciting news, Seiko is finally...
Seiko is back.
Back? Back is a strong word. I wouldn't say back. What would make me say back?
Actually, it's not a strong word.
If they put the 6L movement, the one from the SJE line, into the 63 MAS, then I would say they're back. I think that's what it would take. But what I was saying is Seiko is finally listening to their customers. You know the dive extension? The one that stabs you right about here on your wrist? It's cheap, it's pressed, and it's flimsy, but most importantly, it's gone. Finally gone. You know, I miss when I used to do that, like the sumo slap. Remember the sumo slap 5 years ago?
Oh yeah, that was so lame.
You know what? Let's do the sumo slap. I can't reach the camera, it's way too far, but we're gonna use some editing. Let's do it. So is it enough to warrant a purchase? You're gonna have to watch this entire video to find out right now. Introducing the all-new Seiko Save the Ocean SPB545 Limited Edition. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. That's a Save the Ocean? Hey, where's the shark fins? The textured waves? And where's my favorite stingrays? Yeah, I was surprised as well. I even had to double check if it was really part of the STO line. Because unlike previous models, there is no texture, just a clean light-catching sunray. So the big question is, could the fad finally be over? Are we going back to simple sunrays now? If so, I'm not complaining. Make sure to drop a comment. Are you team texture or are you team clean dial? Because I feel this one is going to divide people. Now let's talk about the case. This is the upgraded 2nd gen 63 MAS, which we compared to the 1st generation in an earlier video. I'll link that in the top right corner of this video if you want a full breakdown on what has changed. So the case lines are classic 62 mass with a large high polished bevel running all along the top of the midcase. And in typical Seiko fashion, the undercarriage is carved out, giving it that classic Seiko cushion case comfort on the wrist. The bezel is a coin edge design with a gorgeous light gray anodized aluminum insert. And if you've seen my previous reviews, you already know that's my favorite bezel material. I love the granular texture, the matte finish, and the way it eventually patinas over time. But now let's see how it feels and sounds. It could be my imagination, but this feels slightly clickier than any other 63 MAS units I have tested. It still has the typical Seiko soft clicks with the settle back, but I don't know, there's just a little more pronounced click here. I'll keep testing future models, of course, and report back, but for now, just keep that in mind. Now let's do those dimensions. I got 40 millimeters in diameter, bezel 39.5, and a secret measurement of 29 even. For the thickness, 13 millimeters. But keep in mind the sapphire has a subtle dome. And we have drilled lugs for easy strap changes and a lug to lug of 46.4. That's a good size. I think it wears great. And I would call this a small 40. But you guys let me know how it wears. I have a 6.7 inch wrist, so keep an eye out for all the wrist shots throughout the video. Okay, moving on. So a Save the Ocean watch is known for having a special dial. And I have to say this one had to grow on me. My first impression when I picked it up at Kavar Jewelers was, it's too much. The blue is too in my face. I'm not feeling it. But after spending time with it and seeing how the color shifts in different lighting conditions, I did a complete 180. I realized it actually does have a special dial and it deserves the Save the Ocean title. In the past, when I would see a Save the Ocean dial, I would start doing backflips immediately. So this one was different. Seiko took inspiration from the crystal clear waters of Okinawa, Japan. And once you know that, the color makes total sense. And what really brings it all together, it's my favorite detail in the watch, and it might surprise you. Heck, you might not even notice it, but I promise you, it's a big deal. What am I talking about? Well, the seconds hand. Seiko really hit the nail on the head here with that pure white seconds hand. That thing is absolutely killer. It immediately gave me SKX vibes, and it just jumps off the dial. Seiko, do this more often, please. All right, let's keep it moving. The biggest complaint about Seiko divers has always been that terrible dive extension. And you know what? I'll add micro adjustments. They usually have low micro adjustments. The first generation 63 MAS had 4 micro adjustments. Then the second gen mind-blowingly went backwards and dropped it down to 2. But I'm happy to report Seiko finally listened. The bracelet on this thing is completely solid, it has excellent finishing, and most importantly, it now has a proper toolless on-the-fly micro adjustment system. And this one has 6 positions. Yes, 6. That's a massive improvement from 2, and it's long overdue. Take note, the bracelet is coated in Seiko's DiaShield hardness coating, same as the case. And it's held together with pins and collars. This is the most secure link system in the watch world, and don't worry, this is the easy version. The collar is held in place by the middle link, so sizing is not a big deal. Once it's done, it's set it and forget it, no screws backing out on you 6 months later. So my fellow Seikopaths, thank you for complaining. It worked. I thought it was going to be till 2030 at least before they addressed this, but we still have work to do. What am I talking about? The dial. The hour markers are pressed indices and there's no cavity. There's no space to deeply fill lume. The lume is painted on top in a paper-thin application. So while Seiko's LumeBrite is powerful lume, the execution makes the performance just meh. And that's frustrating because Seiko used to be the benchmark leader in this category, and it's sad that that's no longer the case. And at the top I mentioned it's limited edition. So this one's gonna have 4,000 pieces. Sounds like a lot, but for Seiko's sale volume, it's actually a pretty standard limited run. You will get a unique serial number engraved on the case back, which is a nice touch. Okay, so now what's powering this thing? It's the 6R55, the latest and greatest in the R lineup. However, it's still a low beat 21.6 VPH hack hand wind automatic, but now it's got a 3-day power reserve. If you watched the earlier video I mentioned in the beginning, you know I've been tricked before by the 6R35. And maybe that's happening again, or maybe Seiko did actually improve it. So I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe they're still tricking me, but the accuracy on the 6R55 seems to be more consistent. So what's the price of this new Save the Ocean? Well, the price comes in at $1,400 USD. Yeah, it's a bit high, but this is no doubt the best version of the 63, and if they fix the lume issues, this would be a home run. Because it's well finished, it's got a decent bracelet now, and it is an ISO diver from one of the most iconic dive watch brands on the planet. Drop a comment, are you a buyer? And if not, you want something more affordable, I'll put a more affordable Seiko diver on the right of your screen right now, and I'll put a more expensive diver that I own, that I love, also there. So click into one of those videos, and I'll see you in the next one.